Why does the church prohibit contraception?
Well, I think put simply because it introduces something to the sacredness of the sexual act between a husband and wife that simply doesn't belong there. If it was natural or envisioned, it wouldn't need to be introduced. And so in some way, it is something like a third party intruding into that most sacred manifestation of the one flesh union of husband and wife. And so the church in her wisdom, for the sake of the well-being of her children and for the salvation of their souls, reminds them that there is no circumstance in which it can be permissible.
No circumstance.
No. Refer to it as intrinsically evil, which means not that it makes you as bad as a mass murderer because you've used it. It means that there is no circumstance for any good intention in which it can be justifiably used. It's what we refer to when we say that the ends don't justify the means. That means that there are some unjustifiable means, and we refer to those as intrinsic evils.
The church does not command couples to have as many children as possible. Husbands and wives are free to prayerfully plan the size and spacing of their families, as long as moral means are used. That's where natural family planning comes in. NFP is not only effective, but it's safe, inexpensive, and fully in line with God's design. So why is contraception different? Pope Paul VI explained in Humani Vitae that God designed the marital act with two inseparable purposes: love and life. Contraception places a wall between those purposes. It reduces the marital act to something purely physical instead of a sacred sign of unity and openness to God's will. There's also the deeper issue. Many so-called contraceptives don't actually prevent conception. They cause the premature ejection of a fertilized egg, which means a new human life, created in God's image, is destroyed. That's not preventing life, that's ending it.
I learned the Catholic Church's teachings on contraception, and this was during the time I was studying Catholicism before it was Catholic, and how they had really alone stood ground on that. Contraception is such a controversial thing, but there are good Protestants who think that, in a marriage, contraception is not a big deal. Before it was anathema, like everybody rejected it. Martin Luther rejected it, Calvin rejected it, but then a few hundred years later, the Anglican bishops would decide at the Lambeth Convention that they would permit contraception in a few cases. One of the many sort of theological divorces that happened after the Reformation. Learning about all of that is just one more facet of, wow, the church has figured this out.